The afternoon sun glimmered across the quiet suburban street as Elijah pulled his sleek midnight black Lamborghini into his driveway. He had worked years-long nights, failed attempts, and silent battles to earn this moment. Before he could even step out, the peace shattered. A shrill voice pierced the air, rising like a storm. Neighbors turned their heads as an HOA Karen, red-faced and trembling with fury, sprinted toward the car. And with no hesitation at all, she jumped onto the hood, stomping wildly, her heels crunching into the paint like claws. Elijah froze. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was destruction. She was enjoying every second of it. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Elijah's heart pounded, not from fear, but from disbelief. He'd moved here for quiet, stability, a place to finally breathe. Instead, he watched a woman he'd barely spoken to unleash chaos on something he'd spent half his life earning. The neighbors whispered from their lawns, some filming, others too stunned to move. And in the middle of the unfolding madness, Karen screamed words that stung more than her stomps. "You people don't belong here. This is a family neighborhood, not a racetrack. I'm calling the HOA. I am the HOA." Elijah felt a wave of heat rise in his chest, not of anger, but of a deeper wound. How many times had he tried to prove he belonged? To be polite, to avoid trouble, to shrink himself so no one would feel uncomfortable. But now, watching the dust swirl under Karen's heels as she destroyed his proudest possession, he realized something trying to fit in had never been the problem. Her prejudice had always been waiting. He stepped forward. "Ma'am, get off my car now." She glared down at him, eyes filled with a twisted sense of power. "Make me. 10 minutes. That's all it took for the situation to unravel further. Karen jumped off the car, pointed her finger inches from Elijah's face, and screamed loud enough for the whole street to hear, "I feel threatened." "Stay back. I'm calling the police. You're going to jail for assault." The crowd gasped. No one had touched her. No one believed her. But Elijah's hands trembled not from guilt, but from knowing how situations like this often ended for people who looked like him. A moral tension rippled through the air. What was right? Speak up loudly, or stay silent to stay safe. Should he defend himself or trust the system to see through her lies? But the universe had its own timing. Just then, 3 police cruisers glided onto the street, not racing, not panicked, calm, controlled. And when the officers stepped out, every neighbor fell silent. Because the woman leading them wasn't just any officer. She was the newly appointed sheriff of the county. A black woman, poised, sharp-eyed, carrying the strength of someone who'd fought twice as hard for half as much. Sheriff Daniels nodded respectfully at Elijah, then turned to Karen. "We received a call about a violent suspect. That suspect is you." Karen blinked rapidly, her confidence melting. "Me? No. He threatened me. He assaulted my car." He, ma'am," the sheriff said, stepping closer. "We have multiple eyewitness accounts and video evidence. You vandalizing his vehicle." The neighborhood murmured. Some nodded. Some finally exhaled. Karen's voice cracked. "This is a misunderstanding. I was just enforcing HOA rules." Sheriff Daniels raised an eyebrow. "By destroying private property? By fabricating police reports?" "Ma'am, you were under arrest." The snapping of handcuffs echoed like justice falling into place. As she was led to the cruiser, Karen's eyes landed on Elijah. For the first time, she looked small, fragile, and deeply painfully wrong. Elijah watched her go, not with triumph, but with a calm, quiet sadness. He never wanted revenge, just respect, just peace. The neighbors slowly approached. One offered a hand on his shoulder. Another apologized for never speaking up sooner. The community, once divided by whispers, now stood united by truth. Later, as the sun dipped low and the sky softened into evening gold, Sheriff Daniels walked back to Elijah. "You handled yourself with more patience than most," she said. He nodded. "Just didn't want it to get worse." "It didn't," she replied gently. "Because you stayed calm. And because justice finally showed up on time." And for the first time since moving in, Elijah felt something settle inside him, belonging. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And just like the quiet street at dusk, peace returned exactly where the chaos began. If you enjoyed this story, share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this one. Your voice matters here. Stay kind, stay aware, and stay listening.